unboxing a Steam Link 11 years later. And a Steam controller too. Written by Gardiner Bryant. You can find more articles just like this over on the Bryant Review, GardinerBryant.com. Head over there, get signed up, and become a member. It's all greatly appreciated. Here's something cool. My friend Peter gave me a Steam Link and a Steam controller. He had intended to use them to stream games from his office PC to his living room TV, and then never got around to it. This was back when Valve discontinued them both, and they were offering a steep discount to clear their inventory. The sale was in 2018, so these devices have sat unopened on his shelf for the better part of a decade. With that being the case, and considering the new upcoming Steam hardware, I figured now would be a great time to open these up and give them a spin. The Steam controller. Let's start with the Steam controller. I've already got two of them in my possession, but I wanted to document the unboxing process here in 2026. The sticker holding the outer sleeve in place was aged. This had grown stubborn. Pulling it up felt like sacrilege, even though I don't really find new old stock that holy. I removed the outer sheath and set it aside. Folding open the box, I was greeted with a factory fresh, original Steam controller. There are a few things to note with this device. Despite it being new old stock and totally unopened, there was some evidence of wear. Not from use, mind you, but from living in a box without a protective bag. Also from age. The soft rubber coating on the one analog stick is very clearly starting to decrode. This is just what rubber does over time. I tried to get a good photo of this, but it doesn't photograph well. My friend Peter has moved at least once since acquiring these devices, and that means that the controller has bumped up against the inner packaging while shipping. And given the age of the box itself, the inner coating has started to degrade with time. That's left a fine dust all over the controller. And the controller has also left an impression on the inside of the box's lid too. The controller came with some packed-in goodies. A USB-A to micro-B cable, a USB micro-B to A adapter, a USB-A 2.4 GHz wireless dongle, and a pair of AA batteries. These were all in factory fresh shape, except for the batteries. Those were labeled as good through March of 2026. Hey, what a coincidence. But they were also corroded and leaking inside their plastic packaging. I genuinely didn't think batteries could corrode unless they were in circuit, so I guess you learn something new every day, huh? Like I said though, the rest of the accessories were great. Use with a PC. The Steam controller is still eminently usable on your PC. I was expecting the gamepad would need a firmware update when I plugged it into my computer, but it seemed to be on the latest version right out of the box. It may come as a surprise to some, but there's also a bespoke advanced configuration screen for the Steam controller in modern big picture mode. It's pretty nifty to see. You can calibrate the touchpads, the joystick, and even the gyros. You can enable gyro smoothing, you can control the LED brightness, the startup and shutdown chirps, and more. Big picture mode even offers a pre-configured control profile for Steam Controller 1.0. None of that is a surprise to me though. I am a controller nut and I still use my existing Steam controllers with some regularity. So let's move on to the Steam Link. The Steam Link. I have zero experience with the Steam Link. That is to say, this is an entirely new device to me, and I'm kind of excited. Again, much like the Steam controller, the sticker that holds the outer sheath in place was decidedly aged and crusty. Removing it was pretty simple. I just lifted up on the unstuck part, and it came right off. Once I negotiated the sticker free, I removed the sleeve and opened the box. There sat a brand new and unused Steam Link. Cursory inspection revealed similar signs of age as the Steam controller. Mostly the box's inner coating was crumbling, and it had left another fine powder on the device. There were a few scuffs on the top of the Link as well. Pretty ugly, but I think a little bit of elbow grease should be able to redress that. Pulling the egg carton-like cardboard that secured the Steam Link in place and setting it aside, the box remained unexpectedly heavy, and that's minus the weight of the already hefty for its size device. There were a few goodies underneath. First, an HDMI cable, about 6 feet in length. Also included was a flat, what appeared to be Cat5 cable. It had no markings on the 6-foot cord, and while stylish, I've always found these flat cables to be far less reliable than their normal twisted pair sisters. Finally, there was a power adapter, rated for 5.1 volts and 2.5 amps with a 3.9mm barrel jack connector. This accounted for the remaining weight in the box, and thankfully the adapter should be relatively simple to replace if needs be in the future. The Link has a power adapter jack, 2 Type A USB ports, an RJ45 port, and an HDMI port. On the right of the device, there's another Type A port. I wired everything up, including an Ethernet cable. The Link turned itself on once connected to the mains. It detected that a firmware upgrade was available, and it prompted me to install it. I connected my new Steam controller via the provided USB cable and confirmed the upgrade. This process took a little while, over 3 minutes to complete. Once it was done, it found my PC, which had Steam open, and asked me to connect. The Link performed some network analysis and determined that my 10 gigabit home network would not suffice for streaming in high quality, but I insisted that high quality mode be used anyway. Since I was doing all of this right here on my desk, I watched as the Link petitioned my PC to jump into big picture mode. Then I was controlling the Link on one monitor, and it was forwarding all of those inputs to my desktop. There was the tiniest amount of lag between input and display through the Link, and I think that the majority of that was actually due to my use of the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO to capture the HDMI signal from the Link and then split it off to my monitor. The ATEM Mini Extreme ISO is notoriously bad for gaming. It has so much lag that playing first-person shooters actually makes me nauseous. Consequently, I played Animal well to try this out at first. Using the Steam controller is not an ideal choice by any means, but it is serviceable. Then I swapped out the Steam controller for the GuliKit TT Max using its included wireless adapter. Connecting it was an absolute breeze. Just plug the dongle into the Link and jump into the game. Simple and straightforward. I was able to play Spelunky, my go-to lag test app, and it was actually pretty manageable. There definitely was some lag, but it was entirely playable. Though I did lose multiple hit points and later ended my run in stage 4 of the jungle because of the lag. Not because I'm a bad gamer by any means. Nope, I'm screwed. I'm frickin' screwed. I can't believe I didn't get impaled. We got the shotgun, guys. And now, grab it. Oh man! Ugh! I was like, I know this is gonna be the death of me. I knew it. I frickin' knew it. The fact is, the Link performed admirably, and it's still relevant and capable hardware in 2026. It's able to output a 1080p 60Hz signal, and that's fine. Now, there are better ways of doing this, like getting a Raspberry Pi and installing the native app, or using an NVIDIA Shield or another Android device with the Steam Link app. These will all allow you to stream higher quality gameplay from your PC, but that's neither here nor there. Other things. Now, I'm curious what other things we might be able to do with the Link. Some cursory searches yielded promising results. Valve commendably did not lock this thing down. You can get root shell access here, but I haven't found a practical use case for this. I'd love any input you have, if you have any. Conclusion. So what can we glean from this unboxing experience? Well, firstly, it was fun. New old stock is always such a trip down memory lane, but also, and more importantly, that these devices still work. That's huge. Over a decade since their introduction and over 8 years since they were retired, Valve's maintained compatibility with this hardware, despite massive infrastructural changes to Steam, like a new big picture mode, new streaming codecs, and more. And I can't see these devices falling out of support anytime soon. I'm excited to see how Valve's upcoming Steam Machine, Steam Frame, and the new Steam Controller are received, but also how they're supported in the Steam ecosystem going forward. You can find more articles just like this over on the Bryant Review, GardinerBryant.com. Head over there, get signed up, and become a member. It's all greatly appreciated.